Well, good evening. It is your trusty YouTuber, your film, TV, music critic, multimedia critic, GZTV, back with another video. And in this video, we are here to talk about the 2004 absolute classic, one that glorified probably one of the most mid fast food establishments, unfortunately. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Alright, I gotta say this is an absolute classic. This is another movie similar to like a scary movie and some of the movies we've talked about recently that I grew up watching a fuck ton of times. I love this fucking movie. Again, it is one of the best stoner movies when you get the munchies and you want to go somewhere. Like, I'm not a stoner, like I've never smoked a day in my life, but it's just like that energy is amazing. This is one of those movies, it kind of takes you back. Sleepovers with your friends, late night Comedy Central, hanging out with friends, just the early 2000s energy. Again, a lot of these films very well do encapsulate their times, and honestly I think it still holds up very well. It came out over 2 decades ago, damn near 2.5 decades. This movie is way more than just like a weed movie, way more than just a stoner movie. Again, getting the munchies, there's actually some smart satire. Kind of maturing and watching some of these movies, I've started to realize a few things. There's great chemistry between these two characters, there's some social commentary in here, a surprisingly wholesome friendship story mixed into all the insanity, so we are about to get into it. I fucking love this movie. So getting into the premise, the movie follows Harold, played by Cho, and Kumar, played by Penn, two friends who get high one night. I mean, who doesn't get high over the weekends if you're a normal college kid? I wasn't a normal college kid though. I mean, I guess they're not college kids because Harold has like a full-time accountant job, but they become absolutely obsessed with getting White Castle. They have this craving, and apparently if you're high, you can't like kick a craving, like you have to have it. What should be a simple fast food trip, you know, drive an hour away, go to this White Castle, turns into pretty much a good old classic road trip comedy film. We've watched the movie Road Trip on the channel. We've watched There's Something About Mary. This is nothing new as a sort of subgenre mixed with the stoner stuff. Police encounters, random parties you stumble into, wildlife getting in your vehicle, riding a cheetah through the forest, and even encountering wildlife in the woods. Neil Patrick Harris appearing in the story, you know, a celebrity cameo is pretty common in these type of movies. And again, it's one of the craziest road trip nights ever. This movie has it all. It packs a punch, comes to the comedy, and we are going to get into it. So getting into the good, I just kind of wanted to dive into what this movie is. I mean, this movie is Harold and Kumar. It is their film. There really isn't any secondary characters. Now, there are some side characters that kind of recur a little bit, and they kind of show up as a gag. They show up as a sketch or a skit or whatever you want to call it. This movie is Harold and Kumar, and their chemistry is absolutely unmatched. I think the movie works because of this, because if it didn't, what the fuck kind of movie would this be? These are the main protagonists, and the director, the creators, make it very clear that that is such. I mean, Cho and Penn are perfect together. I'm not super familiar if these actors did any more movies after this. I'm sure they got placements, and obviously they made more Harold and Kumar movies. Who more, in fact. I didn't even realize the Christmas one was a thing, but man, they were amazing here. Harold, he's the Asian one on the left. He's reserved, awkward, anxious, responsible, honestly somewhat like me. Like, I'm not necessarily a goody two-shoes, like I'm not a nerdy, things have to be done the correct way. Definitely a little awkward. I'm not gonna like stick my neck out there to make something happen. Kumar is obviously the more reckless, the more loud, impulsive, giving zero fucks type of character. His parents are holding him to a high standard. They want him to get into med school, enroll in this stuff, and he's skipping out on meetings. He's cussing on phone calls during meetings. He's just making a total ass of himself, spilling shit. And somehow that balance makes every scene work. I think the polarization of these two characters just makes the movie work better than it could have ever been. I mean, they both bring out different sides of each other. Kumar kind of gets Harold to loosen up, like, come on, you gotta have some fun. While Harold keeps Kumar from becoming a complete disaster. I mean, he lets him do some things within reason. It's like, okay, we should probably not do this. And getting specifically into a guy like Kumar, I think Kumar is an iconic stoner character. I mean, Harold is obviously a stoner character, like he participates in the smoking of the weed, but Kumar is the stoner. He's the one that incites it. He's the one that loses his shit on this stuff. And honestly, I think he's weirdly relatable despite me not being a smoker. I think the pressure from immigrant parents thing, again, my parents aren't immigrants. I don't really relate to him, but I think he can be a very relatable character. And again, like I talked about before with the social commentary, I think this movie really dives into that. It's really nothing in the middle. Like, there's two different type of immigrant, like foreign exchange students, if you will. Either they party and they don't give a shit, or they're like Harold and they have a job and they're prompt about stuff. His parents want him to, again, become successful, go to medical school, be perfect. His dad and brother are in the medical field, as we saw with that hilarious hospital scene. We'll get into more funny scenes later. later, and he just wants to smoke, hang with friends, enjoy life, you know, kind of live the high life of being in college, at least being a college-aged kid. That conflict gives the movie more depth than people expect. I think it is a really fun one, and although his family isn't super involved in the story, I think it's awesome. And I think just the overall structure of the movie, just the journey, again, the road trip vibe of it, the movie never gets boring because of it, because they're always getting into different dilemmas, they're always going into different places, and holy shit, burger on the poster, by the way, looks really fucking good. Every stop along the way becomes its own insane little comedy scenario. Meet with Freak Show, who is one of the best side characters I've ever seen in a comedy. The racist cops and how exaggerated they are with that. They stumble into Princeton where they know a couple of people. The dream sequences, everything when they're like high and they're in a daze. The hospital where Kumar has to perform the surgery because they mistake him as the doctor. Neil Patrick Harris showing up, hitching a ride in their car, stealing their vehicle. Them riding a cheetah. Crazy. Somehow all of it feels connected. Like, it's not even episodic. It's because some people would say like the randomness of it just feels like a bunch of sketches thrown together, and maybe that's how they made the movie, but I think they made it so seamless that the whole movie at the end of the day is still centered around we need White Castle. Like, that is the main goal. And again, like I said with the commentary, I do think that can go into the positives because there's a lot of stuff about America. This movie captures America really well, and although stereotypically so, our obsession with fast food, the racism, even though I don't indulge in that, the weed culture, getting these dead-end 9-to-5 jobs, college life, party culture, immigrant families coming in, annoying cops, rich weirdos and celebrities and stuff. It's all here. They absolutely play on it. They absolutely highlight like just about everything you're gonna find here in America. And surprisingly, I think the movie handles Harold and Kumar as actual characters, not just stereotypes of immigrants, because they do feel somewhat American. Like, they feel like they are quite integrated into the culture. I think this movie is very much ahead of its time because a lot more nowadays, I mean, especially with ICE, obviously these guys aren't like Mexican, they're not that type of immigrant. A lot more nowadays people talk about immigrants, stereotypes that come with them and stuff like that. Also, we do have to bring up, I mean, Neil Patrick Harris's involvement with this film is definitely a positive to me. I think that's a really dope celebrity cameo. Neil Patrick Harris showing up isn't as this insane, exaggerated version of himself was hilarious. I'm not really sure like the backstory on Neil Patrick Harris. I do know he was in How I Met Your Mother, which is where I know him from. Stealing their car, doing drugs, hanging out with naked girls outside of the sunroof while the fucking car is speeding down the freeway is hilarious. I don't know, again, if he was a drug addict, if he got caught stealing shit, I don't know, but the dude is completely unhinged in this movie, and it's so fucking funny because when you look at Neil Patrick Harris, you do feel like he's a pretty nice guy, but apparently this movie basically helped reinvent his career as well, which is actually awesome. This movie actually got him into How I Met Your Mother, so it all makes sense. Getting into the bad, these are again acknowledgments because I think this movie is amazing. I love this movie. I do think some humor is definitely a little bit aged. A few jokes are early 2000s. There are some things that don't really pertain to society anymore. I mean, I guess they do, but it's not like as exaggerated as this movie makes it out to be. Some stereotypes, random raunchy moments definitely feel a little bit dated now. I can't really get into any specifics because I don't have any specifics. I just have to bring up the fact that this movie is 20 years old and it's not the perfect thing. By the way, I kind of forgot the director of this. Directed Dude, Where's My Car? That whole subgenre of comedy is great. Maybe we need to watch Dude, Where's My Car because I definitely watched that growing up as well. I don't remember the director's name. Compared to a lot of movies from the 2000s era, I think this one aged surprisingly well, so this isn't necessarily a bad. It's almost like I need to have something for this section, so there you fucking have it. The movie does go full chaos at points. It does kind of lose believability. That's fine. I mean, the cheetah scene's fucking ridiculous. What the fuck was that? The movie definitely reaches a point where you just accept this is basically a live action cartoon. It's funny though. The way they present it is like funny in a slapsticky way, a lot more funny than a lot of the other slapstick comedies we've watched. I do think that is part of the charm though. I do think that is part of why it works. Again, these are me kind of acknowledging where critics would go wrong because people take shit too serious. It's a fucking comedy film. I know I'm going a little fast, but getting into the okay, just the whole White Castle obsession, I will put it here. Could have put it in the good, but again, I wanted to kind of disperse my thoughts throughout the video. At the end of the day, I will still have very positive things to say about it. But the funniest part of the movie is how serious they treat White Castle. Like it's just this messiah, like this sacred religious building, a sacred event to eat White Castle. And it very much glorifies the American dream for some people, which is eating fast food. It's not necessarily the American dream you would think, like, oh, I have to make it, I have to start a family, I have to have an affordable lifestyle, more than affordable, damn near luxurious. It becomes the mission of their entire existence. It doesn't fucking matter. Laptops get broken, shit gets stolen, they lose all their money. It doesn't fucking matter. We're gonna go to White Castle. And that is fun. That adds a lot to the comedy. It's relatable. When you want something, you fucking want something. I think that is something that is very much in the spirit of Americans. Like, we're a pretty patriotic, passionate country. I'm not saying other countries aren't, although I've only really been to Mexico outside of this, but everybody has had that moment like you need a specific food, you need a specific craving, just like I need to go see fucking Obsession obsession because I've seen so many people raving about it on Twitter. I have to go fucking see it. Like, nothing else will satisfy you until you get it. That's the thing about Americans. They're so tunnel vision at certain things, and so I don't really know the verbiage for it or the adjectives for it, but man, the stoner humor in general, just getting into the humor, I mean, it is a funny movie. It's not like the most funny movie in the world, but for me and my dad, it's great. I think my dad laughed a little more than me just because I think he did smoke weed in high school a little bit, but anyways, I'm not a stoner, but stoner comedies will always work for me because everybody knows people like this. Like, I've been around people that act like this, and they laugh at shit. I used to grow up with a family friend that had brothers that would smoke and shit like that. The movie captures that, like the weed culture, all the dumb conversations that are had, the random adventures, like, let's go get Taco Bell. Like, that's what drunk people do. It's what high people do. I've also been around intoxicated people, and this is sort of some of the same. Late night cravings again. It's awesome. I think this movie handles a lot of things well, and just kind of closing this out on some of the funniest moments. I do think one of the funnier moments, crazy enough for me hating on it, I know the cheetah is fucking hilarious. Freak Show's fucking hilarious, where he says you can fuck my wife, and then she starts to take off her blouse or whatever the fuck you call it, and he comes in, he's like, I said that? I said I fuck your wife? The whole thing with Freak Show's funny. Him singing in the backyard, and she says he got the voice of an angel, and he sounds like shit. The racist cop, I know racist jokes are a little insensitive nowadays, but he's got a gun, and it's like a fucking book. This guy's like a scholar. He's literally a professor at Rutgers. It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff to this movie that I probably could have dove into a little more, but it's simplistic enough. We can kind of leave it as that. I guess also the end where everything laps around and NPH actually buys their White Castle after they're running out of money. The ending was great. I kind of forgot to mention the ending when Harold sees his coworkers and gets really assertive, like, you guys should have fucking did this. This is your job. You're gonna go see Berenson, but you're throwing shit on me, so you can't really do that. And then towards the end of the film, actually, he ends up kind of getting in a mini relationship with Maria, who he's been kind of going after the whole movie and fiending. But she goes to Amsterdam. They want to follow her because I can smoke weed there, and kind of leads into Guantanamo Bay, but I don't even think Guantanamo Bay in Amsterdam, so I don't know if they're going to continue on with that or not. Whatever. So getting into the review, I just have to say it, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle as a non-stoner. I know there's probably other stoner movies that some of you potheads like. This is one of the best stoner comedies ever made. Not because it's like a super deep film and it's trying to send a message. I mean, it is to an extent with the immigration stuff here, but because it's insanely entertaining, endlessly quotable, surprisingly smart, full of personality. I think the chemistry between Harold and Kumar, again, Cho and Penn, carry the entire movie. Of course, they are the titular characters, but they do a good job at it. There's a lot of weight on these actors' shoulders, and they did great. The movie captures early 2000s America, just captures every part of that culture, friendship, late night chaos, just wanting to escape real life for a night, getting high, having fun with your friends. Sometimes you have to have these evenings where you have fun. And again, I will say there is some immigration talk, like the whole American dream, and it is kind of comical that their American dream is going to White Castle. I will admit that, but that is kind of part of the charm. This movie, it's a cute one. It's like a cute stoner comedy. It is an absolute classic in that subgenre, as well as the road trip subgenre. One of the most entertaining One Crazy Night movies ever made, kind of like a Project X, that kind of subgenre. There's a lot of subgenres this fits into. I'm giving it an 8.6 out of 10. I fucking love this movie. It was such a big part of me growing up. As you guys know, if you guys are close to me, my parents would put this on all the time. My dad, at least. My mom's not really into this raunchy shit. There you have it. That is going to do it for the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been your boy GCTV, giving you guys the best comedy movie reviews out there. I don't see a lot of YouTubers going back and watching old comedies, so I think that's good to see me in this line. Go check out the social medias. I want to watch Obsession really bad. Theaters Wednesday. I might take a break Wednesday, not shoot videos, but Wednesday, at least, I need to get to the theaters and see this movie. But peace. Look forward to a new movie review.